Hey, it's Shane with GotRom.com. This video is about restoring strength after surgery. So I got an email a while back from someone who was saying that they just got surgery for a labral tear, and they found me afterwards and wanted to know what I recommended for restoring strength, stability, and what to do after a surgery, because they were finding that their recovery wasn't as quick as they were hoping it was. So obviously I would recommend that eventually you progress into a well-rounded recovery program of some combination of strengthening, stretching, and self-massage, and different amounts depending on your needs, but usually just kind of restoring some basic strength and stability after surgery is really helpful. So these are just a couple quick strengthening exercises for your hip if you just had hip surgery. So obviously you should follow your physical therapist. If you're working with one, follow their advice, their recommendations first and foremost. But if you're looking to add in some kind of gentle hip strengthening things in addition, then show these to your physical therapist or start to gently try them out and see how you like them. So the first one is, if you can get into a kneeling position, I like these, they're called bird dogs, and basically you kind of brace your core. You're neither arched nor rounded, you're just kind of in a neutral spine position. You're going to brace your core and then very slowly slide your foot along the ground, just above the ground, until your heel is kind of pressing the wall away behind you. And at the very end, you lightly squeeze your glute and then slide the leg back. So you're just kind of very slowly squeezing the glute and then coming back. What this does is teaching you how to fire your glute, how to move your hip while keeping your trunk stable. This will eventually be progressed into all kinds of functional movements like squatting, picking things up, lunging. How do you keep a braced neutral spine while your leg is moving, and how do you turn on, activate your glutes, which is very important. So a lot of people will do this exercise and they'll just kind of kick up to the ceiling and kind of arch their back, and they're supposedly strengthening their glutes, but really what they're doing is reinforcing a bad motor pattern and arching their back. So that's why I like to have people slide their leg along the ground and then squeeze the glute just kind of at the end and then come back. Of course, you can progress to eventually going like this and squeezing the glute, but you should be able to do it with a completely neutral spine. And that's hard for a lot of people because their quads and hip flexors are so tight that they get to about here, they're already running into their end range of motion, and to get farther, they have to compensate in some way. That's why I like this as the first progression, followed by stretching your quads and hip flexors, and eventually progressing into this kind of a exercise. Experiment with that slowly and carefully in the beginning. The next exercise that you can try is for the other side of the hip. You're going to recline onto your elbows, one leg bent, other leg straight. This probably shouldn't be done immediately post-surgery. You should be working with a physical therapist at that point. But when you're ready to try this, you lock your leg out straight, point the toe, and just kind of pick the leg up. You're going to strengthen your quads in this position, so you feel these muscles working. And I usually like some combination of doing maybe 10 reps. You can even add in some kind of like isometric hold at the end, if that feels good to you, or little pulses. I like to kind of see what my body is asking for when doing these exercises. So you're going to strengthen the front, strengthen the back, strengthen the inside, and then the outside. So these we call short range adductor liftoffs. You go in this position, or if you're a little bit weaker in your adductors, you can start here and just kind of pick the leg up. You can try different angles and see what feels like it's the best for you. This would be a harder progression to strengthen the adductors. An even harder progression would be to add weight to the ankle, or have someone manually kind of resist you and kind of pin this down as you're pressing up into their resistance or pressing up into the ankle weight. So that's going to strengthen the inside of your hip. And then the outside of your hip, I like simple one is side lying leg lifts. You just very slowly use your glutes to bring the leg up. Don't go super high if you don't have that range of motion. In the beginning it might just be here. But again, I like kind of 4 reps or a hold or going like in super slow motion, like you're going through water. So play around with slightly different angles, slightly different internal and external rotation of the foot. Just you want to feel a nice glute contraction back here. So that's kind of like a 4-way hip strengthening to do just immediately, not immediately, but after surgery, labral tear surgery or surgery for FAI or something like that. Know that that should just be part of one comprehensive system of recovery of stretching, strengthening, and massage. You shouldn't just do one of those three. You should have some combination of all of them, but give those 4 a shot. See how they go.
Yeah,